Hey, welcome back to the channel. If you are new to the channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Everybody go ahead and give this video a like, comment down below, let us know where you're from. So I just got done talking to literally all the sources in Memphis, and basically we figured out the entire Dolph thing. Now, it took us late last night, and so we were up, but we got everything figured out. And so, you know, feel free to get us a coffee. It's the link in my description. You can buy us a coffee. Now, with this whole thing, they're saying he was wearing the yellow shirt at Ruth Chris. Now, the sources went up to all 3 different places inside of Memphis, and what the gas station, the Ruth Chris, and the Makedas. Now, they're obviously not showing the footage of the Makedas because it's still like an active, ongoing thing, right? And so that's why they're not releasing that, and the release is gonna be delayed. But when the sources went to the gas station and they went to Ruth Chris, they were having a hard time because the management, they were trying to cover everything up. They were literally like trying to dip and dodge questions about the details of was Dolph there or not, and why they haven't posted any pictures or at least any type of video evidence of him walking in and walking out safely, right? And at the gas station, the sources went up, they talked to the manager, and they're like, hey, was there anybody following Dolph that you seen at the gas station? Does the footage show him actually getting in the car and leaving? Because when you saw that one footage of the people who were sticking their phone out the car filming, all you could really see is Dolph walking up. Maybe it looked like he had came from the store, but the recording starts when he's like walking from the back of his car and he's getting into his car right before he closes the door, and then that's when it stops. Now, the sources were asking the gas station owners, where's the footage and why is it that we can't see Dolph driving off? Because if we see him driving off, then you will be able to tell if somebody was following him, because the rumors are, and this is alleged, that somebody was following him out of that. It was a white Corvette, maybe belonged to Moneybagg Yo. And so this is just what the people are saying, because there's people out there that know what happened. There's people who know exactly what happened, but they don't want to come out because of a whole nother existing type of situations that they could get themselves into. And so that's why they staying quiet. All the witnesses at the gas station who seen somebody following Dolph, all the people that was riding by Ruth Chris, and it was some crazy stuff going on. Now, when Dolph was leaving Ruth Chris, why can't we see that footage? It will go to show whether he was safe or not, because that's actually the last place Dolph had a picture taken of him before he ended up at Makedas. And so that's really one of the last places he went. It was proven already by the girl on Facebook that posted that video of Dolph at the gas station, that gas station footage and all that was the day before the Dolph incident on November 17th. So when he left that gas station, he must have been on his way to the interview or something, right? And now he ended up at the Ruth Chris that night. Then when leaving the Ruth Chris, that's when something happened and they must have took him. And so the community center is somehow falls in line in one point into that whole story. And so it's really unsure, like, why are they showing pictures of him in the yellow shirt when in the video of him at the clinic where they're taking his keys from him, he's going to the community center and there's no yellow shirt, no hat. He doesn't even have the same jewelry on. So this is an intentional mix-up, guys. They're trying to throw a lot of people off. But at the end of the day, it's the same story. He was either at the community center or the Ruth Chris, and that's where they snatched him up at and brought him to the Makedas. And the only way that they could bring him there and actually have him hit up before the 2 dudes in the white Benz came up is if that they had him that U-Haul and it's got ice in the back. It keeps the temperature cold. So if they actually snatched up Dolph and did something, they probably put him in that U-Haul and took him to the Makedas, allegedly. And now look, whatever happened, the uncle already said, Paper Route Quazo already said out of his own words, this is young Dolph's own actual uncle, that he thinks that something happened inside of Makedas before the 2 dudes who were the alleged hitmen that ran to the front. And that goes straight in line with the fact that I've been saying this entire time for the last 8 months, you can go and binge watch all of my videos, and I've been telling you that the shots came from inside the store. That's why the glass fell out, and that's why Young Dolph fell forward, is because somebody hit him while he had his back turned. And so this is,
I have I know Brandy personally, and you know, she ended up like supporting. She just supported you, right? And this was during a time it was like just a high tide of grief for me at that particular time. And so my team was just like, you know, like she had reached out and she purchased. She's like, I want to support, and they let me know, and I was just like, you know, thank you so much. You know, so months go by, and she finally said like, hey, I took this to my wardrobe team and said that this is what I want to wear. And like, this was probably like, I would say maybe like March, I don't know, it was the beginning part of this year. And she was like, is it okay? Like, you know, is this okay? And I was like, for sure, like, that's cool. You know, like, I just appreciate it. Like, I appreciate you just supporting. And then coming back like, hey, I want to also do this as well. And so it was just a phenomenal act of support. And like, I was just super appreciative of it. Then, you know, finally seeing it on display and seeing it on TV. And like, it was just like, this meet him, you should meet him. And I'm like, girl, I don't want no rapper. Like, I went to college, I'm gonna get me somebody. Like, we gon' I want somebody who wanna say whatever. Like, I'm from Detroit, like, you know, everybody in the streets or something. And I just felt like I'm growing up. Like, shouldn't I grow up out of that? But when I met him, it's like, don't judge a book by his cover. Like, and when me and him finally talked about it, he was like, his friend used to always tell him like, you should meet Mia. And he was like, man, I don't want to meet none of Jessica's friends or whatever. They probably stay at the club. He was like, no, she actually be in the house all the time doing her homework. I was in my last year of college, so it was real like grind time, right? And he was like, that was the part that made me like, you know, you was taking care of business. He was always talking about how you were taking care of business. So I think that once we finally met and we started to talk and really get to know one another at each other's core, it was like, that's where it was like, okay, like, it's definitely something here. And from there, it just continued to blossom from friendship to like familyhood, and it just continues to blossom.
It showed. It absolutely showed. You know, we just love seeing you guys together. So I do want to talk about Black Men Deserve to Grow Old. So on the season finale of P-Valley, there was this beautiful moment where we saw Mommy-O herself, Mercedes, wearing one of your shirts. And I want to talk a little bit about that. How did the brand wind up on Stars of P-Valley?
Wow.
Yeah.
So Brandy, she's so amazing. Me and so I'm of wisdom, older woman, seasoned woman. I don't care if you got a baby in your belly. I'm gonna have a conversation like, girl, what are you doing? What is working for you? And trying to apply those things to myself just so I can show up as my best self in motherhood and womanhood.
Okay. And so you have coined this term Mommy-O, and you have a whole community of Mommy-Os. Tell us more about that and what that really means.
So being a mom and CEO, you know, it's really bringing out that leadership skill set within a woman, right? That what really activates bosshood. Everybody want to be a boss. Everybody, you know, thinks being a boss is looking like a boss, or being a boss is telling people what to do. But it's a leadership skill that you have to possess, you know, to be able to really, for one, call yourself out, right? Being able to call yourself out when you need to be better at some of the things that you do, and you know, not always being victim, right? But also being able to delegate to people, to be able to communicate effectively with people, and just running your household, you know, like running your household like it's a business, because ultimately the things that we as women, we can get so caught up into like wanting to run a business and start a business. This